What's up, everybody? What's up? It's another Tuesday. Paul, one of the co-founders of the thetemboway, and today we're lucky enough to be joined by
Evan Sturellis, and I am also a co-founder of the thetemboway. It's been a minute since I've been around, been kind of busy and occupied, but I'm glad I could be with you guys here tonight. Let's get started.
I'm so glad he's here. First of all, I just want to officially announce that we are done with the semester.
Yes, we are.
It's been a long one.
It's
been a tough one.
I mean,
it's been a painful one.
Yeah, but we're done. We're done.
We're done.
We have a week off, maybe.
We've got 6 days of vacation.
Maybe, and we
before
start
the
right
summer
back
begins.
Right back at it.
So very happy to be here. And today we're going to just jump right into it. We're talking about, are you running ... like a Kenyan? Because I'm Kenyan.
Yeah.
And he's an honorary Kenyan. So are you running like a Kenyan? And truly what that means. Basically what we're trying to do is just impart, honestly, the knowledge from our experiences, from the stuff we've picked up along the way, as well as, just truly advice that we wish we had when we were
beginning the
race.
Yeah.
And everybody runs a different race, and everybody
has their own pace.
But it's important to understand that you got to still run the race to the best of your ability, and there are ways to do that. You just have to be able to find the way that works for you. So here's a way that worked for us, and me, and him. Basically, we were talking about it earlier, and I don't know if you want to share about it, but there's a 3-step way we're looking at it. Okay, so kind of want to talk about that.
The first thing is, what's the first step? How do you, a person, whether you're running, whether a literal race, whether you're running a marathon, or even in my situation where I used to play rugby, how do you prepare for that race? How do you prepare for that journey? In my situation, when I played rugby, what our coach would do, we would pretty much run about 9 to 10 miles of practice, weightlifting, tackling drills, nutrition, what you name it, we did it to get us ready for that game or for the season, and even for our championship. The first thing you got to do is know what you need for the race. So let's start with the first step.
There's the other 2 steps as well, being what's holding you back, and then how do you start running. But like he was saying, so starting with the first step is, what does it take to begin your race? And I think it's an important part to look at it from the perspective of a machine. A machine is just a system that you've built to accomplish your goal. One way to look at it is, say, military. So every single machine has a specific task. So a military machine would be comprised of having scouts, having snipers, having, tanks, having infantrymen. And the objective could be taking the hill across the way from the enemy. And the machine is built to achieve that goal. But that's just half the battle. Building the machine is half the battle. The other part is making sure the machine is efficient, meaning that you have scouts that are fast runners. You have snipers that are very accurate shooters. You have tank drivers who are fearless. You have tank shooters who are accurate and fearless. Right. You have infantrymen who just are willing to go the extra mile. All these things are placed there specifically. So building a machine that works, and then building a machine that works efficiently, so that you have the correct components in the machine, so the machine can fix everything. I mean, think about it. Something simple as like a coffee maker. A coffee maker needs to have a couple of things: a plug to plug into the wall, a dispenser for the coffee to come out into your cup, a filter for the coffee beans,
but also water,
all that. These are all specific components, and with the correct things in there, you get your cup of Morning Joe every single day. So that's important. The first step is building that machine and making the machine efficient, so that beyond a reasonable doubt, you can implement that system in any scenario, and it'll work. So you've done that, right? You built your machine. Your machine works efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're getting your cup of morning joe every single day. Next step, what's holding you back? Look at a marathon runner. If a marathon runner is training every single day, right? Their machine involves waking up at, I don't know, 4:30, eating meal 1 of 17 for the day, drinking a gallon of water in the morning. These are things they've implemented in their system, in their machines, so that they can train. It's not that they know what they need to do to get to the end goal. You know, you're talking about make sure you know where the end goal is. So you know what you need to do to get to your end goal. What's holding you back from taking that step now? Because you already know what you need to do. So what is holding you back?
I don't know. I personally feel like there are certain things that holds people back, but I think the main one would have to be that fear of not knowing.
Okay.
Not knowing whether, okay.
Which is natural.
I mean, yeah, it is. It definitely is. Not knowing whether the outcome will be, you know, greater than what you thought it would be, or whether, you know, just the fear of failure for some.
Okay.
And I think the first thing to help with that is being able to trust your instincts. Yeah, you got to be able to trust your instincts and get through that, and then just overcome and adapt to that feeling.
Absolutely. And I think especially when you learn to trust your instincts, a special something happens, right? So a special something happens. If you learn to trust your instincts, if you learn to hone your instincts, right? So that reaction you have to a situation is 80%, 90%, 75% accurate, you've learned to move past what we're going to call the first order consequences. What are first order consequences? First order consequences are the immediate consequences of the decision I make now. So, we were talking about earlier, say I decide to sleep in an extra 20, 30 minutes in the morning. The immediate consequence is I get more sleep.
But,
right? That's the immediate consequence. And here's the thing. Sometimes it's not a bad thing. But most times there's second, third, fourth, fifth order consequences that occur that you don't even take time to think about because you're only focused on the first, because your instincts have not been honed, because through experience you haven't built up that knowledge that I need to look beyond what you see. You know, just like Rafiki said in Lion King, look beyond what you see. So the biggest mistakes in decision making, the biggest mistakes basically in life happen at the first order consequences, right? Many of our regrets will probably occur because we didn't look past this section right here. Now check this out. We build experience, we build our instincts, we hone everything around us, and we start thinking about the second and third. We start looking beyond what you see. Take the earlier example. You'd want to sleep in an extra 20, 30 minutes. But then you think, if I do that, what happens? I gain more extra sleep, first order. I may not have enough time to get ready during the day, second order. I might start running late for work or for school or for class, third order, right? Because we've taken the time and experience has taught us that a lot more is going to happen other than just me getting more sleep. We make less mistakes. And plus, because we learn to look beyond what you see, now you have those desirable outcomes. Okay? And that's a stats thing, an econ thing. You have those desirable outcomes that occur. And the second and third order consequences are used to avoid temptations that are faced to us. And then we use those same things to overcome pain that holds you, that holds me, that holds you from actually getting what you really want. Me getting what I really want. E getting what he really wants. You know what I mean? These are such important parts of that. And if you learn to choose and look at these, you'll avoid temptations, right? And basically, I think that's what really it takes. If you're able to do that, you're able to overcome that hump of what's holding you back.
What's another thing that I know most people I know I struggle with that sometimes, is owning your outcomes.
All right, so that's jumping into that next section, right? So you had the first step. We built our machine. We've addressed what's holding us back. We're able to look beyond what we see when we look at the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, infinity order of consequences. We've addressed all that. So then we get to the part about how do I actually start running? How do I actually start doing that? Here's an analogy. And it's an old, I believe, Kenyan proverb that goes like this. It's about a lion and a gazelle.
He made it up.
It's about a lion and a gazelle.
He made it up.
No, really, this is real.
This is an actual one.
So, every single morning every single morning a gazelle wakes up. And the gazelle has to make this decision to start running. If the gazelle does not run,
it's dead.
It's going to get eaten.
It's dead.
Every single morning, a lion wakes up and has to make the decision to start running. If the lion does not make the decision to start running, it doesn't eat. And guess what happens? It dies.
Either way.
Whether or not you're a lion or a gazelle, in the morning, you got to start running. And that means, like Evan said, owning your outcomes. What does this mean, though? What does it mean to own your outcomes? It means that because I built my machine and because I was able to look past my first, second, third, fourth order of consequences, whatever happens through my preparation, I now have to own what happens. I have to own my outcome. I have to be able to take responsibility for the decisions I've made instead of complaining about things that are out of my control. So, let's take the example of running that marathon race, right? So I prepped, I ate, I drank, I slept, you know? I watched races, I listened to Eric Thomas every single day. I learned to want to succeed more than I want to breathe. Shout out to E.T. I wanted to succeed more than I wanted to breathe. I did all that. And then I run my race. And, I don't know, at mile 20, there was a random incline, there was a bump, there was a blemish on the road that caused me to stumble, and so I fell from first place to sixth place. So I finished the race at sixth. I still have to own my outcomes because I did every single thing possible to essentially prepare myself to be in first place. But I cannot blame the random blemish on the road for me not finishing first. That's just something that's out of my control, right? Nobody foresaw that coming because you'd assume that in a marathon, the event planners would make sure that the road is as smooth as possible.
Exactly.
Things happen, right? Ish happens in life. But as long as I'm able to own my outcomes, as long as I'm able to build myself to the point where I've done everything possible to finish first, to win my race, to run my race effectively.
And that's a key thing, key component. Your ability to improvise and adapt to that race.
Right.
Like you were saying, that bump in the road. Being able to, sometimes, and that comes with being prepared also. And if you do hit that bump and you can't, go around and adapt to it, like you say, deal with it.
Yeah.
Don't complain about it, deal with it. But if you're able to catch it ahead of time and go around it and adapt and overcome it, then kudos to you and keep at it and, build on top of that step.
What you just said kind of like resonates with something I was reading earlier. So I've been reading this book, Life and Work Principles by Ray Dalio. It's fantastic piece of literature. Matter of fact, hold on. So, this book right here, fantastic piece of literature. And in there, he kind of talks about learning to deal with disappointments. What the crazy thing is? The easiest way to deal with your disappointments is finding a way around it. That is the path of least resistance, but it's the path least taken. Why? Because that path right there means that you have to change.
Okay.
Right? So, and that's what, we're going to do a whole nother video about that. That means you have to change to work your way around that problem, to work your way around that disappointment. Right? How can I apply that to the marathon? You finish in 6th. And now suddenly, you're like, what could I have done differently? You know what? Instead of complaining about it, how am I going to change? I'm going to suddenly take myself. I want to say hi to Vimbo. Vimbo, the greatest principal on the face of the earth right there. I have to be able to change, which means now when I'm training for marathon number 2, I'm going to not only incorporate the possibility of blemishes on the road, hecklers on the side, runners that might fall. But you know what? Now I'm going to start I might even start doing some obstacle training.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? I'm changing because I'm not going to train the exact same way because something happened that threw me off and I didn't think about it. So now if I start doing obstacle training left and right? So I'm running a marathon almost like you're doing a steeplechase, right? It's almost as if you're training for a marathon using steeplechase methods. I'm learning to now train with obstacles. I'm changing myself so that I'm more adaptable, so that I'm able to improvise better, and so I can overcome what?
And honestly,
the obstacle.
The blemish, like the blemish of the obstacle in the marathon doesn't specifically have to affect you. You could have seen it affect someone else, like a friend or another classmate or someone else who is running the same race.
Right.
And the fact that you could see it and learn from it and apply it to your own preparations, that makes you smarter. You're already ahead of the game. So being able to see, okay, yo, that person tripped over that speed bump.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna add that into my preparation. Go around it. Maybe if not the same exact speed bump, but something similar to that will be in my path.
Facts.
And I gotta prep for all that.
Facts. Absolutely. So here's the deal, right? For us to create a bottom line sentence to even just culminate what we're talking about is this. It's up to you to connect what you want with what you need to do to get what you want. And then the third part is having the courage to carry it through to achieve it. That's just it. Know what you want. Know what you need to do to get what you want. And then just have the courage, right? Have the guts, have the cojones, as they say, to carry it through and just achieve it. Anyway, that's all we got for today. This has been the temboway. That rhymed. Honestly, get out there. For those of you that are still taking your finals, those of you that haven't started, those of you that, all that, good luck. Kill the game, stay strong, stay in faith, and just do what you got to do to go next level. I'm so hyped. I'm so excited for these next couple of days. We're going to go get it there. We're going to try and do a couple more videos. And honestly, we're just going to be out here enjoying ourselves. So,
stay tuned Monday. I'll be starting my internship live.
There we go.
You check it in. I'll show you guys what that entails, the process of going through that. Just stay tuned. More things to come.
Absolutely. Y'all have a good night. Share, like, and subscribe.